We've all felt it. That subtle jab, the dismissive glance, the words that cut deeper than any blade. Disrespect. It's not just an external act. It's an invisible burden we carry, a weight that can slowly erode our peace and dim our inner light. We try to brush it off, to ignore it, to smile through the sting. But what if there was a way to not just handle disrespect, but to fundamentally transform its impact on us? To build an inner fortress so strong, so serene, that external negativity simply cannot penetrate. This isn't about fighting fire with fire, or even turning the other cheek blindly. It's about cultivating an unshakable self. Today, we'll explore timeless wisdom, from ancient philosophies to modern insights, to arm you with 5 profound ways to navigate disrespect, not just with grace, but with an inherent power that leaves both you and the situation elevated. So if you're ready to shed that burden and reclaim your inherent dignity, settle in. Because by the end of this, you won't just have tools. You'll have a new way of seeing yourself and the world. Our first profound approach is what I call the mirror of calm. Imagine your inner self as a perfectly still, polished mirror. When disrespect is thrown at you, a rude comment, a dismissive tone, your instinct might be to absorb it, to let it crack your surface. But what if you could simply reflect it? Not by mirroring the negativity back, but by presenting an unblemished calm that shows the aggressor their own behavior without you taking on its weight. People who disrespect often operate from a place of their own turmoil, insecurity, a need for control, or an unexamined habit. They're looking for a reaction, an energetic hook to pull you into their chaos. When you meet their disturbance with unwavering calm, you deny them that hook. You're not giving them the fight, the fluster, or the validation they unconsciously crave. This isn't passive. It's profoundly active. You are making a deliberate choice to remain anchored in your own serenity, creating a powerful, silent boundary. Think of the Stoic ideal of apatheia, not apathy, but freedom from disturbing emotions. When you are undisturbed, their dart has nowhere to land. So how does this look in practice? When confronted, instead of immediately responding or tensing up, take a mindful breath. Let your posture remain open, your gaze steady but not challenging. If they say something cutting, pause. Let their words hang in the air. Your silence, imbued with calm, becomes a powerful question mark hanging over their behavior. I once had a colleague who loved to make condescending remarks in meetings. Instead of defending myself, I started simply meeting his comments with a calm, acknowledging nod and an unblinking gaze. I offered no words, no emotion. The room would become palpably quiet, and without fail, he'd either stumble, redirect, or eventually stop. My calm was his mirror, and he didn't like what he saw. This technique doesn't seek to punish, it seeks to inform. It's a gentle, yet firm, assertion of your inner peace. It reminds you, and perhaps them, that true power lies not in controlling others, but in mastering oneself. Our second principle is the art of non-engagement. Disrespect is often like a fire that needs fuel. Your emotional reaction, your need to defend, to explain, to justify, these are the fuel. What happens when you simply refuse to provide it? This goes beyond mere silence. This is about consciously choosing to withhold your energy, your time, and your mental space from interactions that diminish you. Think of the Buddhist concept of detachment, not indifference, but recognizing that not everything requires your participation or your emotional investment. When someone is disrespectful, they're often inviting you to a low-vibration conversation, a battle of wills that only drains you. By choosing not to engage, not to argue, not to defend, not to even verbally acknowledge the insult, you starve that fire. There's no oxygen for it to burn. The disrespect loses its power because it fails to elicit the desired response, leaving it hollow and ineffective. In practice, non-engagement can manifest in many ways. It could be a simple "okay" or a non-committal shrug, followed by a change of subject or physically walking away. It could be not responding to a disrespectful email or text. I recall a family gathering where a distant relative consistently made subtly belittling comments about my life choices. Instead of engaging, I'd smile politely, nod, and then immediately turn my attention to another conversation or task. I didn't justify, didn't argue, didn't even acknowledge the sting. By not engaging, I wasn't being rude. I was practicing radical self-preservation. Eventually, the comments stopped, not because I confronted them, but because they simply found no traction. This is an act of profound self-respect. It's declaring that your peace is more valuable than winning a trivial argument, more precious than proving your worth to someone who isn't open to seeing it. You become the gatekeeper of your own energetic landscape. Third, let's explore the invincibility of your truth. How often do we feel compelled to explain our choices, our feelings, our boundaries, especially when challenged or disrespected? We feel we owe an explanation. But what if your truth, simply by existing, was unassailable, needing no external validation? This concept draws from the core of Stoic self-sufficiency, the idea that your virtue and your choices, when aligned with your authentic self, are their own justification. When someone questions your decisions from a place of disrespect, trying to undermine, to belittle, or to project their own limitations onto you, they are seeking to destabilize your inner conviction. By refusing to justify, you deny them that power. You implicitly communicate that your internal compass is all the guidance you need. It's a powerful statement of personal authority. My decisions are valid because I made them, and I do not require your approval to stand in my truth. This isn't about stubbornness. It's about unshakable integrity. When faced with a disrespectful, "Why did you do that?" or "You shouldn't have," a simple, calm response can be incredibly potent. "Because it was right for me," or "That was my choice." And then, silence. Resist the urge to add caveats, lengthy explanations, or defensive arguments. Let the simplicity of your statement stand. I remember a pivotal moment when deciding to pursue a path unconventional for my family. The initial reactions were laced with veiled judgment and concern. I stopped trying to rationalize my dreams. When asked, "Why would you risk everything?" I simply said, "Because I believe in this path for myself." The conversation often ended there, leaving them with no hooks to pull on, and me with a profound sense of liberation. Your truth doesn't need an audience vote. It doesn't need to be debated or defended. When you embody this principle, you stand in an internal fortress that disrespect simply cannot breach. It's a radical form of self-trust. Fourth, let's understand the strategic retreat. Sometimes, the wisest battle is the one you choose not to fight. This isn't about cowardice. It's about tactical brilliance. It's recognizing that not everyone deserves access to your energy, your time, or your emotional landscape. This principle resonates with the idea of discernment. Just as a gardener carefully tends their plot, removing weeds to allow beneficial plants to flourish, you must curate your social environment. Disrespectful individuals are often energetic vampires. They drain you, leaving you depleted. While the previous points focus on managing direct encounters, the strategic retreat acknowledges that prolonged exposure to certain individuals can be detrimental to your well-being, regardless of your internal composure. It's about consciously adjusting the proximity and frequency of interaction with those who consistently diminish you. This creates a physical and energetic boundary, preserving your vital resources for nourishing relationships and pursuits. It's an act of deep self-love, prioritizing your mental and emotional health above societal expectations or outdated loyalties. This could mean limiting time spent with certain individuals, declining invitations that involve them, or even gently ending relationships that are consistently toxic. It doesn't require a dramatic confrontation or an explanation. It can be a gradual, subtle shift in your availability. If a person consistently disrespects you, you might politely shorten calls, respond slower to messages, or politely excuse yourself from their presence more often. I once had a friend who, despite long history, had become habitually critical and dismissive. Instead of cutting them off abruptly, I began to strategically retreat. Our lunches became less frequent, our conversations shorter. Over time, the distance allowed me to breathe, to heal, and to realize just how much their presence had weighed on me. The natural drift created space for healthier connections. This is about understanding that your inner sanctuary is sacred. You are the guardian of its gates. Not everyone is worthy of entry, and sometimes, the most courageous act is to simply choose not to participate in dynamics that erode your spirit. Your peace is non-negotiable. Finally, we arrive at the radiance of self-worth. This isn't a technique you apply in a moment. It's a state of being you cultivate. When you deeply inhabit your own worth, your mere presence becomes a powerful, unspoken statement that deflects disrespect before it even lands. This is the culmination of all the previous principles. When you authentically embody self-respect, when you move through the world with an inner knowing of your value, it creates an energetic field around you. People, even those prone to disrespect, sense this. Your confidence isn't aggressive. It's simply present. Disrespect often seeks to puncture perceived weakness or insecurity. But when there is none to find, when you are grounded in your own inherent dignity, their attempts fall flat. It's like trying to throw a stone at a mountain. It simply makes no impact. This aligns with the idea of arete in ancient Greek philosophy, living in excellence, radiating your highest potential. When you are fully yourself, unapologetically so, you leave no room for external judgment to diminish you. How do you cultivate this radiance? It's through consistent self-care, honoring your boundaries, pursuing your passions, celebrating your small victories, and forgiving your imperfections. It's about showing up authentically, speaking your truth kindly, and owning your mistakes gracefully. When you walk into a room, hold your head high not out of arrogance, but out of quiet confidence. Let your posture speak of your inner strength. When someone tries to belittle you, your very being, infused with self-worth, silently asserts, "I know who I am, and your words hold no sway over me." I used to shrink myself, trying to blend in, fearing judgment. But as I started to actively cultivate my passions, honor my needs, and embrace my unique quirks, I noticed a shift. The same individuals who once tried to diminish me either stopped or their words simply lost their power. It was as if I became invisible to their negativity, because I was so vibrantly visible to myself. The ultimate shield against disrespect isn't a strategy. It's a profound self-acceptance. When you radiate your own worth, you not only protect yourself, but you subtly inspire others. You become a beacon of dignity in a world that often struggles with it. Disrespect is an inevitable part of the human experience, but how we respond to it and whether we allow it to diminish us is entirely within our control. The mirror of calm, the art of non-engagement, the invincibility of your truth, the strategic retreat, and the radiance of self-worth are not mere tactics. They are pillars for building an unshakable inner citadel, a sanctuary of peace and dignity that no external force can penetrate. Begin to practice these principles in your daily life. Observe the shifts, not just in how others treat you, but in how you feel about yourself. Remember, your worth is inherent, not earned. It is simply who you are. By embodying these principles, you are not just handling disrespect. You are elevating your own life, protecting your precious energy, and becoming a living testament to the power of an unshakable self. Stand tall, live authentically, and always protect your peace. You are worth it.